In recent times, we've been bombarded on Facebook, especially if you're from Africa, if your account is an African account. We've been bombarded by show of wealth from the Anambra billionaires. So one of them recently buried his mother, and according to everything that we're seeing on social media, everyone who is in that part of the country, everyone who is a billionaire was there. And then it's been a very incredible show of opulence. And one of them comes and says, okay, I'm giving you 47 cows. And when you multiply the cost of 47 cows, because I went to buy a cow last month, and I was told in my part of the country that a cow was 1.7 million. Just call it 2 million. So one person donates 47 cows, or maybe a group of them. And then you see the most expensive cars on earth in that village, the most expensive cars. They were driving in, it was just incredible. And then we are told that the tent that they used for the burial celebration was hired at 400 million. So they were throwing all these numbers. And while I congratulate the Anambra billionaires, I think the problem is a lot of our young people begin to have very, very dangerous ideas and dreams because everybody wants to be like them. Young people want to be like them. And you can see from the comments, how they are hailing these odogus and these big boys and, multi-billionaires. But the question is, these young people do not know how these people made their money. And then many of them actually made their money legitimately. They've been around for a long time. I understand that some of them have they're manufacturing phones and accessories and devices. I understand that one of them also has a big interior decoration business, perhaps according to them the biggest in Africa. But it took most of these people 20, 30 years to get to where they are. But you see, many of our young people would think that these people became wealthy overnight. And then unfortunately, the way they are communicating their wealth in the context of such incredible poverty and financial struggle going on in the country, it can be wiser. They can communicate it a little bit wiser, especially for the young people. So that's why tonight I want to talk to us on how to create your financial freedom plan. Please type it in the comment section, how to create your financial freedom plan. This is a very simple topic, but it is extremely significant because 9.5 out of 10 of you, if I ask you what your plan for your financial freedom is, you have none. You don't have a written down plan. You just wake up and then whatever the day brings, that's what you say. And that is a very, what's the word? That's a very poor way, of trying to approach your financial stability and your financial freedom. It doesn't just happen. You've got to actually have a plan. And it is better that you have a plan that is not a perfect plan, that you can continue to refine as you go on, than to just have no plan. No plan. You need money plan. You need money plan. Everybody type money plan. Money plan. Yes, you do need a plan. You do need a plan. And then it shocks me that so many people don't have a plan. They don't have a plan. They just want to make money. And then it becomes a lucky affair. And for a lot of people, it's also a religious affair. You pray and then hope, and then someday your destiny helper will come, and then a miracle will happen, and then God will throw money down from heaven. No, while you're on this earth, you've got to have a plan. And so many people don't have a plan. So I want to break it down for you, how to make your own plan. And if you have not already downloaded, because I created a 2025 financial freedom worksheet to help you have a plan. I created it. I'm going to put at the end of the session, I'm going to put the link to that worksheet that you can use to have a plan. Work your plan. And so I'm encouraging everyone, don't get carried away by the show of opulence and wealth by these Anambra billionaires, that you forget, you take your eyes off your plan. Because a lot of people are focusing on those billionaires. They want to be like them, and then they are going into all kinds of things. The youth are going into very deep occult, going into idol worship, sacrifices, rituals, even human. Okay? And there are sad stories every day of people, killing young women, killing people to make money. The love of money indeed is the root of all evil. And when I look at all those billionaires in Anambra, yeah, they may have made their money, but you can tell the love of money all over them. They love the money, they love the wealth, they love the display, they love the power. You see all those mobile policemen and soldiers guarding them. Then you see all those fleet of cars, convoys. For what? Guys, you're going to die. You're going to die. I don't want to mention name, but one of them last year just died like that, and he was a very powerful individual because somebody owns your breath. And the way I see them driving around with all these very expensive cars that their country doesn't make. Your country does not make it. You don't even know how the engine functions. You just buy it. I have a G-Wagon. I have Rolls Royce. You see all these very expensive cars. I don't even know their names. Meanwhile, you don't have roads to those places. Meanwhile, your surrounding villages is reeling in poverty. The love of money indeed is the root of all evil. And then you show us your family going back from holiday in a private jet. And then you are showing us the food that they are eating inside private jet. I see all these things. Guys, it doesn't matter how much you think these people own, how much they have. That's stupidity. Please don't be like them. Don't be like them. And I can guarantee you, in another 10 years, you won't hear about all these people you are hearing about today. I can guarantee you. In my lifetime, I'm 60 this year. In my lifetime, I've seen a cycle of these things. People come and then they just do all this ostentatious thing and opulence and all that. The universe will punish you because that's not the purpose of wealth. In the midst of such poverty, the insensitivity. And somebody will say it's their money, that they can do whatever they... Okay, it's their money. But your life belongs to somebody. You're a steward of that thing. So what I'm saying is, you need to have your own financial freedom plan, your own money plan, and face it. Don't be distracted by the things you're seeing on social media. Let them do their own. But their life is not your life. Their goal is not your goal. So why want to be, like them? They're all over the place. I don't even want to mention their names because I'm sure if you've been watching social media, you've been seeing it. You've been seeing all the things they are showing us. People around you. You have 200 million people who could hardly afford a meal. As I'm talking to you tonight, there are at least 60 to 80 million Nigerians who will go to bed hungry. So there's just something immoral. I can't put my hand on it. You say it's their money. Okay, you can say it's their money, but really? Anyway, so the business today is how to create your financial freedom plan. You need a plan. You need to hold a plan. You need to pace that plan by your bedside that you are running patiently. So the problem is when you don't have a plan, for your financial freedom, and you are depending on other people's money, and you're also looking at other people's money and other people's success, and then envying them, being jealous, wanting to advise them on how to use their money. I don't do that. And when I mention these so-called billionaires, I'm not talking about it because I want to advise them on how to use their money. But I'm just saying I can't put my hand to it, but there's just something off. There's just something not right about the love of money and about the worship of money that I see among these people, people. And again, for the young people, not to copy them. Some of them are genuinely rich, very industrious. I've consulted for some of those Anambra billionaires, but you don't see those ones, by the way. You don't see them. I'm talking about someone like Chikasin. You can't see him. He's a billionaire, in dollars, but you can't see him doing the thing all these little children are doing all over the place on social media. I've consulted for him. I've consulted for his company. Atenewi, extremely devoted, gentle, quiet, humble guy. And he does a lot of giving, and you don't put it on social media. So for me, that's a very powerful life. He's touching people. And then there's so many people he's employed working for him quietly. You will never see that Chikasin. You will never see him. Or Cosmas, the Costaris guy. He's also from that place. You will never see them on Facebook doing this nonsense, showing us fleet of cars and policemen guarding them. You will never see that. So don't copy the wrong examples. Don't copy the wrong examples. You have a plan for the financial peace, financial freedom for your family, and follow that plan. Okay? So there are 4 steps I'm going to teach you to creating your financial freedom plan. But before I do that, I want to use a personal example of how to turn your dream into a plan, because many of us have dreams. But how can you have a dream and you don't have a plan? Are you feeling me? How can you have dream? But you see people who have dreams, you ask them, okay, so what's the plan to make this dream come true? They say it is God. They are waiting on God. God has suffered in Africa. If you have a dream, you've got to have a plan. How can you have a dream, then you just sit in your sitting room waiting for God or waiting for destiny helper? Guys, that's stupid. So I had a dream to get married. I had always wanted to get married. By the time I was finishing university, I finished my first degree. I got my first degree at 20. I was 22 years. Okay, 22 years going to 23. So I got my first degree at 22, age 22. And I had wanted to get married. And it didn't happen until 8 years later at 30. But I had wanted it sooner. And it kept eluding me until I turned that dream of getting married into a plan. So this is not just about money. It's also about relationship. It's about anything, any dream that you have. It's also something about your dream to be an academic. Maybe you want to be a PhD, and then you want to see yourself as a professor, working in different universities in the world. Maybe you have a dream to be a professor in the UK, a professor of chemistry, of something in Canada, in Poland, in Germany. It's a dream, but you need to put it into a plan. So for me, I had to break down, what would it take? What did it mean? What are the steps it will take for me to get married? First of all, I had to choose the person, because until I choose the person, I will just keep dreaming about being married. But I can't even start making plans of getting married when I don't have the person. So there were so many people, so many possibilities of people I could marry. I even got proposals. I'm not kidding you. I got 3 or 4 proposals from ladies. I'm not joking. People proposed, ladies, 3 ladies I remember. There were actually more. Proposed to me. And so it was also confusing. So I had to have clarity around who exactly do I want to get married to. And then, before then, I also decided what kind of family do I want to build? What kind of family do I want to build? I had to clarify that in my mind. And then, because the kind of family I wanted to build would determine the kind of values that I wanted to espouse, would also determine the kind of woman I wanted to marry, and also what I wanted in a woman. I had to be clear as to what I want in a woman. And many young people are not very clear what they want in a man. The women are not very clear really what they want in a man. And then the men are not very clear what they want in a woman. So you need that clarity. So identify the wife material. So I broke it down. I have to decide the kind of family I wanted, determine what I wanted in a woman, identify the wife material, propose to her. If yes, proceed. I'm literally reading to you my plan, how I got married. I had a plan. If yes, propose to the next step. If no, repeat the previous step. I had a plan. Then if yes, okay, meet her family. Then introduce her to my family. Then courtship. Attend pre-marriage counseling program. I'm reading the plan I had. I used to get married. Pick a date. Make wedding plans. Do the traditional wedding. Do the so-called white wedding. Then wedding night. Unwrapping the package. Honeymoon. Happily ever after. I wrote these things down, ladies and gentlemen, for getting married. So I'm just using that example to tell you that having a dream about anything is not enough. You've got to have a plan. And I tell you, what I wrote here was what I actually did. And I found my wife, and today, this is our 30th year of marriage. You see how, if I had not followed the plan, I would still be a bachelor today. I know people in their 60s who are still bachelors. They wanted to get married. I know someone who is still a bachelor in his 60s. Not that he didn't want to get married, but see, he didn't turn that desire into a plan. So many of you want to be rich, but you're not turning that desire into a plan. Is this making sense to somebody? Let me read it. Let me actually get into log on with another device so I can see your comments. Okay, is this making sense to somebody? Type, reflect. Back to me. It's actually a coaching session, not type something in the chat. Is this helping you? Is making sense to you? And then, as usual, take this moment to share this. I would really appreciate that. Share this, love it, so more people can join us. And then who knows, maybe you can actually meet your potential partner in this place. So introduce yourself, contribute generously, ask questions. You can actually meet yourselves in this place, because I do believe that magic happens, okay? Miracles happen. All right, so let me read a few. Soji says, good morning. I've been trying to buy some shares. The order canceled since November till now. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Soji. Soji, I will actually encourage you to join the Financial Fitness Challenge. You are a very excellent material, for that Financial Fitness Challenge. That Financial Fitness Challenge is my mentorship unleashed. And so for those of you who haven't taken advantage of it, please do that tonight. Don't delay, because the early bird, which is 100,000 Nigerian naira, will soon end. Uche will say, Chikas is super rich. He can't flaunt his word like that. Absolutely. All right, so you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, Chikasin. I consulted for that guy for a while. Okay, I consulted for him. Went to his mansion in Ikoyi a couple of times to make presentations, to him. Extremely humble gentleman, super rich. These tiny little boys you see flaunting all their money on Facebook, disturbing all of us, with their big cars and all kinds of things. They don't have the money these kind of people have. So I agree with you. They don't have that kind of money. And I see these people, and I prefer their lives. I would rather have Chikasen as my role model than Cubana chief, God forbid. This Cubana chief priest or something, whatever they call him, and all those people in their whatever. God forbid. Those cannot be my role model. Okay, so just said because I'm in holiday, I will do that when I'm back to Nigeria. It's virtual. It's virtual. You can do it from anywhere. Okay. Um, okay. Pastor Ferdinand says any dream that doesn't have a plan will not materialize. It will delay. Absolutely. And sometimes, that's just it. Okay. Uche Will says again, it's good to have a plan in order to have a direction. I agree with you totally. I agree with you totally. Fantastic. Okay. So let's begin to unpack it. I just gave you my example of how I got married. I turned my dream of getting married into reality. And then after turning it into reality, before it became reality, I had to turn it into a plan. So it's like you have a dream, then you create a plan, and then it becomes reality. Therefore, the reason that many of us are still at that stage of just dreaming for 5 years, for 10 years, that dream has not materialized. The gap is in the plan. You don't have a plan. You don't have a plan. So that's the plan I want to give you right now. The plan I'm using, the plan I'm also running right now. If you haven't registered for the Financial Fitness Challenge, guys, do that tonight. Do that tonight. You can imagine these conversations that we're having. During the Financial Fitness Challenge, I will actually be seeing you face to face, by Zoom. And then I'm able to listen to your own very specific needs and coach you through it. So, and it's not usually crowded. It's not usually too many people. It's not crowded. So, if you haven't done that, do so. After this, I'm going to give you the steps for signing up for Financial Fitness Challenge. All right. So step number 1, turning your dream into a plan in order to make it a reality. The step number 1 is to clarify your dream. So I'm going to take the steps, then I'm going to apply it to creating your financial freedom plan. So I'm going to give you the 4 steps. Then we will use an example of creating your financial freedom plan. And then from there, we can make it happen. Okay. So you begin by asking yourself, what exactly is it you want to achieve? So be as specific as possible. You don't get carried away by other people's dreams that you see on social media. And I keep warning about that because there's so much fake life on social media. All right. So define exactly what you want to achieve. One of the things I do with my private clients is actually help them to clarify what success means to them. Not what success means to Cubana High Priest or whatever they call him, or to Bonner Boy, or to all those names, all these people I see on my feed. So no matter how much I say I'm not interested, they keep on coming. That's how I got to know them. I don't know these guys, and they're not the kind of people that I shoot with. Define what success means to you, not what it means to other people, not what it means to your society, not what it means to your friends, not what it means to your family. Define what success means to you. That's one way you start freeing yourself from unnecessary pressure. People haven't defined what success means to them. They are letting the environment, letting the society, letting the culture define what success means to them. And because of it, they are killing people to do rituals. Every single day, someone is killed in Nigeria. I don't know. I see someone is from Liberia here and some other countries. I don't know whether those things also happen there. It is horrible. Horrible. Shedding human blood for money. Because of what? What is money? And a human life. Why? Because you want to become, you're conforming yourself to the image the society calls success. And you're putting your hand into things you shouldn't be putting your hand in. Putting your hand into things you should not be putting your hand into. Defiling your body, for young women. Because of what's money compared to the value of your purity? So define exactly what you want to achieve, okay? Be as specific as possible. So this will give your dream clear boundaries. So don't say something like, I want to be successful. That is too vague. Don't say, I want to be successful. What does being successful mean? Being successful might be for you that I want to send my 3 children to very excellent schools. I even put the schools down such that as they are finishing, they are starting their company, or they are finding high impact work to do. That's success. Success for you could mean, having a good marriage, living with one man, one woman for the rest of your life. That could be success. So define that, then write it down. A written vision helps you to focus, and it commits your mind to making it happen. Okay, how many of you in this session right now, and for those of you watching on YouTube, how many of you have a written down vision? Let's take a little poll, just a little survey. If you have, just type yes. If you don't, just type no. Okay, so if you have it written down, if you have your vision written down, type yes. If you don't have it written down, type no. Just a quick survey. Okay? Everyone do that very quickly. Remember, this is a coaching session. It's not a lecture. Okay, and then while we do that, I will edit comment. Okay, so let me put it right there, and I'm going to pin it. Okay, so how many? All right, so I'm seeing let me see, how many of you have written down plans? All right, so I'm seeing some yeses. So I'm seeing partly yes. Jimmy says partly yes, but not fully. Okay, so I'm seeing a few no's. Okay, or no. Chris says no. Muhyiddin Olarewaju says no. So I'm seeing quite a couple of no's. And I'm seeing a couple of yes. Stephen Idoko, Stanley Naimeka, yes. That's amazing. Obed says yes. That's amazing. Soji says yes. You have your written down vision. That is amazing. Okay, so you guys are actually a very unique group. Very unique group. If I go out there, I meet if I meet 100 people, perhaps just 3 or 4 people have a written down vision. So this shows that you guys here are really, really very special. Okay, so Paul Newman says no. All right, so that's what I would like you to do today. It's important to have it written down because it helps you to commit, it helps you to focus, and then it also keeps you from distraction of other people's fake life or their success. It keeps you from comparing yourself with other people. That's why you need to write it down. And then you wake up every morning, you know exactly why you are alive. So write it down. Don't just carry it in your head. So for those of you just joining us, please go ahead and share this live session. And we are discussing the topic, how to create your financial freedom plan. So there are 4 steps. So I'm going to give you those 4 steps, and then we can take an example. We can take an example from somebody here, or I can give you a general example. What I would actually like to do today for all of you who said you have a written down plan, so I can have one of you come on video. Let's try today. I've been trying to get people on video on Facebook Live. I'm not sure, how to do that. So when we get to that, I will invite one of you to come on video, and then I can coach you through the process of turning your dream into a plan. So step 1 is to clarify your dream. Step number 2 is to break down the dream into actionable steps. Remember the example I gave you about my getting married? Talked about writing down family vision, what I wanted in a family, what I want in a woman, find a woman, propose to her, courtship, see her family, see my family, and all that. So the steps in the same way. Identify the milestones. So take your big dream and deconstruct it into smaller, manageable steps. Okay, don't leave it in big chunk. So break it down into milestones. Then assign a deadline for each milestone. So this helps you to add some structure and urgency to it. So assigning a date, a relevant date to those milestones will help you maintain two things: structure and then a sense of urgency. Why a sense of urgency? Because if you don't have a sense of urgency around it, then it might not get done. You can continue to procrastinate, and then you see something that should get done in 2 years stretches to 15 years. Step number 3, identify the resources and skills that you need. After you have now written down the milestones, the next thing is, what do you need to get there? So determine the resources. For some of you, it might be financial resources. For others, it might be human resources, relationships. For others, it might be some kind of technical skills that you need to acquire. So maybe one of your milestones involves learning to code because you want to get into tech. Because meanwhile, right now in the world, there are lots of tech job opportunities that are paying very, very well, even remote tech jobs. So it might mean that you need to get some technical skills. There are also lots of opportunities in cybersecurity. It might mean that you need to get some certification. It's a resource in cybersecurity. Okay? So that's step number 3. What do you need to get there? Then also assess what skills you need to acquire or to enhance. So if you are not yet skilled, for instance, in digital marketing, that could be a crucial learning milestone. I have discovered that many good plans have this critical element in it, something that you have to learn. Okay, like this year, one of the technical skills I have put in my plan to learn is trading the currency market and trading crypto. So first thing I did, and that was in second week of December, I ordered 3 amazing books. I just shopped online. I took about 1.5 hours, looked for the 3 best books on the subject on candlestick training. I found the books that have the highest reviews, provable reviews, and I ordered those 3 books. They're right here in my, let me show you. They're right here on my table. Because as usual, what I tell you, what I show you is very, very practical. Many times what I'm telling you here are things that I've already done. So here are the 3 books I ordered from Amazon. I ordered them from Amazon in the United States. So I got them. I got them here. So these are the books that I'm using in my plan to boost the skills that I have to learn this year, okay? You might also need a mentor. You might also need a team. You might need a mastermind. You might need to become part of a community in that skill or in that area. So communities can be a resource. For instance, the Financial Fitness Challenge is a community. Once you go through this challenge, that community is built. It doesn't go. The people. This is the cohort number 4 that we are running. The other 3 cohorts still exist in their communities, helping one another, sharing resources, helping each other for life. Because when it comes to building your creating financial wealth, you can hardly do it alone. You can hardly do it alone. That's why, for instance, people trading currency, they are part of a community. People investing in the stock market, they are part of a community. So I'm part of a community that every day they're talking about opportunities in the market. I've also subscribed to some newsletters, which I'm going to share with you during the Financial Fitness Challenge, where I get information every single day about what's going on in the stock market, what stocks to watch, which ones to buy, which ones to sell, which one to hold. I get all that information daily because you can't do it alone. You need resources to create wealth. And then you need a community to be the part of a community of like-minded people going somewhere. You want to create wealth, and then you surround yourself with poor people, and then it's poor people advising you. Your relations are the ones telling you, oh, don't register for that thing, and all that. And then you look at the people advising you, they are poor. Hey, don't invest in the stock market. Oh, hey, that's how, remember your uncle did it, and then he didn't whatever. And then you look at the person advising you, the person isn't successful, and you're taking advice from failures. So you need to ask yourself what resources, people, money, communities that you need to move ahead. Then the final step number 4, is to create a timeline with specific action steps. This is critical. So you create now all these action steps that you have generated from steps 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put them into a timeline. Number 1, I'm going to register a company name. And then I want that done by February the 2nd. So you have all this list of actions and then the timelines. It is important because the question to ask yourself at this stage is, how will you track your progress? If you're not tracking your progress, it will be very difficult to measure. It will be very difficult to manage your journey, because you've heard the saying that what you cannot measure, you cannot manage. You might need to write that down. If you're not measuring it, you cannot manage it. It's unmanageable. So you've got to be able to track the steps, the action steps, so you can manage them. Okay, so let's take an example of, let's say, a lot of people, this word or this phrase, financial freedom, keeps getting thrown around and people don't even know what it means. So that's one of the things that you also have to define for yourself. What does financial freedom actually mean, for you? So, so step 1 will be to clarify your dream. Let's say you're a 40-year-old person, African, or somebody in Fiji, one of my favorite countries and favorite potential destinations this year, and you are struggling, you're facing financial challenges in your life, you're married, you're always coming behind bills, your children, you struggle to pay their fees, you've withdrawn them from a really good private school and put them in a very cheap one that's not as good because your money is not able to carry your dream. So the first step is to clarify your dream. What does financial freedom mean to you? It might mean having enough income to cover your living expenses without needing a job. But it can mean different things to different people. So you've got to, say exactly what it is. So it might mean having enough money invested to earn $1,000 every month passively, or $2,000 every month. There are people who, even $500 they earn passively every month or from a side hustle can make such a huge difference for them in almost every country. Okay, so financial freedom through passive income and also being debt free. So that might be the goal, that might be the vision. You want to earn enough passive income to cover your living expenses, and then you want to be debt free. You don't want to owe anyone money. Step number 2, remember, is to break down the dream into actionable steps. So that's where you need to make, for instance, assess your current financial situation. It's always important to start with assessing your current situation. For example, one action step in that milestone might be to make a detailed list of your current debts, your income, your expenses. During the financial fitness challenge, that's actually the very first thing we do. You calculate your net worth, because your net worth is a very important measure. It's something to actually, and then when you calculate it, you denominate it in dollars, because the currency of your country might look like you're doing really well. But these days, I think the truer measure of net worth, anyone in the world for now, that the global currency is United States dollars. You want to do that. Okay. Then your milestone number 2 would be, for instance, to pay off your debt. So you can create a debt repayment plan. Do not neglect your debt. At some point, before the Financial Fitness Challenge, we will do a couple of series on how to come out of debt. So milestone number 1 will be to assess your current financial situation. Milestone number 2 will be to pay off your debt. Milestone number 3 will now be for you to start building your passive income. And you have to think about the passive income generating assets. So if you're a 40-year-old, you could think about real estate, you could think about stocks or bonds. You can think about starting a small business and side hustle. So you have to put that. Then you need a time frame for that, for your investing. Milestone number 4 could be to increase your financial knowledge. So read books on personal finance, invest in online courses about wealth creation, attend workshops, attend events like the Financial Fitness Challenge. Okay. And then milestone number 5 might be that you want to set up an emergency fund, which is something like 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, saved somewhere, that if there's an emergency, you can easily pull it out. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 will be to identify the resources and skills you will need. So the financial resources would include your income, maybe the salary you get, that you can start turning into saving and then investing, and then also paying off your debt. You want to learn your financial literacy, because one of the major causes of poverty anywhere in the world is lack of financial literacy. Increase your investment knowledge. Many of you do not know anything about the stock market. You are in your 30s. You don't have a single share in the stock market. You don't have a single investment in the stock market. That is terrible. Some of you are in your 40s. You don't even have investment. What are you thinking? Okay. So it might include side hustle or entrepreneurial skills, and then mentorship and support. Then step number 4, the final one, will be to create a timeline with your specific action steps. So you can say month 1 to month 3, for instance, do a full financial audit. List your debts, list your income, list your expenses. It's a very powerful exercise. Okay, very powerful exercise. Because when my children were going into school, the CSS profile required me to fill all those things about my financial information, which I'd never done for years until they were entering school, and it was a requirement. So I had to now calculate every single thing: my income, all my debts, then all my real estate. They asked me to put value to it, everything. How many cars do we have in the household? How much do I pay in rent? How much is utility every month? Many of us don't keep such records. Many of us in Africa, we don't do that. So when they asked me to do this thing, it was difficult. They had to ask the tax I paid in the past 3 years or something. My taxes, my tax information. How much do we spend on health? How much do we spend on insurance? All these details. And I begin to think that many times the cause of our poverty is actually zero record keeping. Zero record keeping. So if somebody asks us about our financial statement or our financial status, we can't even say for sure. But then if somebody wakes you up in the night, you should be able to know what your net worth is, which is basically your total assets minus your liabilities. So you can say month 1 to month 3, you will use that to create a full financial audit and then begin your debt repayment. You can say something like month 4 to 12, you begin saving for an emergency fund. Year 2 to 3, you pay off all existing debts. So you have it. Year 4 to 5, you know what you're going to do. And this is how you create a plan for your dream. Okay, so if you want to come online, if you want to come on video, I think there's something you should request, and then I can bring you up. Okay, request it if you know how to do that. So if you want to talk about your own situation and then you want me to give you some live on the spot coaching, request to come on video. And then while people are requesting to come on video, I don't know how you do that. While people are requesting to come on video, I need you to type your aha moment. Type what your aha moment in today has been. Every single person is a requirement, is our ritual here. What are you walking out of this place with? And then why I always want you to type it, to capture it, is that it stays with you when you capture it. And then you can always come back to this video because I don't delete them. And then you also have them on replay on my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, I'm going to put it right now in the comment section. You just need to click there, and then all the backlog. There are over 500 videos right now, literally every subject. Okay, literally every subject you can think about. So you can click there, and then you can always watch what we did yesterday, what we did before. There are all kinds of things I have done, coaching sessions that are freely loaded there. How to come out of debt, how to make everyday money is all there on YouTube for free. So click on that. Okay, there's a question here. How much do you recommend to be kept aside as an emergency fund? People typically say 3 to 6 months. But for me, I want to be comfortable having up to 1 or 2 years. See, because what emergency fund does for you is, let's say something happens. For instance, you lose your job and then income doesn't come. It can be very, very, destabilizing, because you need to pay rent, you need to pay school fees, you need to maintain your cars and all that. So you need at least to have your mind free for some 3 to 6 months to be able to make a plan, to start earning money again. But sometimes in our part of the world, it takes as much as 1 to 2 years to find, for those of you who are looking for a job, to find something really meaningful. So in our part of the world, I would actually recommend, like that's what I've done myself, 1 to 2 years of living expenses. What does it cost you to live? What's your cost of living for 1 year? Save it. And then when I say save it, you put it in an emergency fund. I'm recommending something, putting it an investment that is very, very liquid, meaning you can actually reach it very, very easily. Not to put it in your savings account in the bank, because it will continue to lose value. Okay. Okay. Is anybody requesting to come on video? I would like to see somebody on video. Okay. I would like to see somebody on video. All right. So let me read a few things I'm seeing here. Your aha moments. The request to come online just went off. I'm not sure what that is. Okay. Okay. So, William says, zero record keeping contributes to poverty, something that is common to us in Fiji. Yeah. So I agree with you. It's not just in Fiji, it's here. I tell you, in Nigeria here, I am telling you sincerely, because I am an executive coach. I work with high impact individuals, and I have also been on live television every week for 5 years. I was on live television. So I had the opportunity to interact with millions of people, literally millions of people. And I can tell you that, if you meet 100 people, maybe it's just 1 or 2 people who have their financial records. They know what's coming in, what's going out every day. They can tell you how much they spend on gas. Like my wife will tell you how much she spends on gas every year because she has the records. They can tell you how much they spent on fuel. Only 1 out of 100 people will probably do that. And if you cannot measure your money and you can't tell what is coming in and what is going out, you're going to suffer. Okay? Some Tochku says, my aha moment is creating financial timeline. Seidu Hussein says, record of my expenses and keeping track. Okay? So the same thing. Godwin says, what you cannot measure, you can't manage. Absolutely. Okay? Seidu says, to succeed, you need to be intentional about it. Okay, that's your aha moment. McDonald, Arinze says, my takeaway from today's training is that I have to break my vision into segments. Absolutely. Very good. Very good. Okay, Friday, Aigbedo says, I will be keeping record of my income and the expenditure. Very good. Okay, Pastor Ferdinand Ndolo says, my aha moment, financial literacy. Fantastic. So this has been a very, very enjoyable evening for me. So I want to thank all of you for coming in and take all these aha moments and all these things you're learning and patiently implement it. Okay? Please keep your eyes off the fake lives and fake things that you see online and then in the neighborhood. Don't compare yourselves and don't let anybody's whatever life they're living confuse you. Take your eyes off the plan. Write your vision down. Write your plan. Follow your plan. Be patient. Okay? Sometimes you're going to have setbacks in running your plan. But don't let setbacks stop you. And that's why I like a plan. Because when I have a plan, it actually helps me also to deal with setbacks. To realize that setback is temporary. So if I have a 10-year plan like I do, I have a plan up to my 70th birthday, because in 10 years I'm going to be 70. So I have plans. And because I have a 10-year plan, it puts me under less pressure to make it overnight. It also puts me under less pressure when I fail, when something doesn't work out the way I intended. For instance, I did some farming last year. It didn't quite work out. It hasn't quite worked out the way I had visualized. But because I had planned it ahead of time and I put contingencies, put my risks, and how I'm going to mitigate the risks, which is actually part of the plan. You also have to write out all the things that are risks associated with the plan, with your vision. So you have the risk on one side and then you have the mitigation on the other side. If this happens, how are you going to respond? What are you going to do about it? So that you are not taken by surprise, by any failure. Okay? All right. So thank you for joining me, and whatever happens, keep showing up because you never know what's coming your way next. And I will see you at exactly same time tomorrow. Don't wait to be reminded. Just come over here, 8 p.m. GMT +1, and I will always be here for you for the next 800 days. Good night.